G'day, g'day, and welcome back to Slenderman Must Die. This one is... okay, accept. Slenderman Must Die, Chapter 5, Underground Bunker. Okay. And we get a good old look at this guy's face. You know, I was actually showing this to a friend of mine, and the first thing they asked is, what the hell is coming out of his face? And honestly, I'm still not 100% sure. Looks a little bit like spider legs. Anyway, this music is annoying, so let's get cracking. So, did it just play? This time you need to collect 8 tablets with a proof of Slenderman existence. It won't be easy. Good luck. And now, underground bunker. I love it that you have to press play twice. Oh, look at all this space on the right side of the screen. I was telling you last time I was so annoyed at how difficult it was to use. Okay. Oh, so we're like entering the bunker. There you go. There's your... Wait. Oh, okay, so you gotta enter... Okay. Now, first things first. Underground bunker. To me, that's... Oh, I just realized they changed the joystick. It looks cool, I suppose. I mean, I can't see it most of the time. You can see it fine, but me... My thumb's on top of it, so who cares what it looks like? But yeah, that's, at least it's smaller. I'm not 100% sure what they mean by tablets. But yeah, so, underground bunker. I thought that was a tautology. Locked locked! Oh, got some locked doors. Now that's gameplay right there. Because I was looking it up, and like, apparently, like, a bunker is underground, although when I looked it up on the Wikipedias, the first thing it said is that a bunker is usually underground. Or like almost always, I think is the phrase they used. Ooh. Oh, don't tell me I'm gonna have to check every drawer. And they're all fucking empty. Yay. Talk about gameplay. I get to open every drawer? Is that a fucking burger? Oh yeah, mate. Oh, in case I get hungry in the middle of the night, I just, you know, I snuck in me. But what the fuck? I guess he was hungry. What the fuck do you want? Walking around like some absolute donkey. Oh, is that a tab? Oh, that's why they pop. Oh. You know, I said I wasn't sure what they meant by tablet. I assumed they didn't mean pill. But it looks like this is literally, like, an iPad-style device. You know? Okay. But my health... Did my health heal any... Did my health heal? Did my health automatically regenerate, is what I'm trying to say. For a second there I felt like I was crouched, but no, I think it's just because I feel like I'm very low. Oh, that's why it... I did get lower to the ground. I must have stepped on it accidentally. That's why I felt like I crouched. Okay. Well, here, I'll close. Oh, jeez. How are you supposed to aim at a drawer? Oh, don't tell me. I gotta... Okay, let's just open the... Okay. Why am I bothering to close it? It's... I don't have obsessive-compulsive disorder. And I don't have obsessive-compulsive disorder, because, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I'm so OCD about everything. I like, because, you know, I like things to be neat. You know, like, nobody else in the world ever likes things to be neat, so you're like, totally OCD. And, but I remember one time I actually met a guy who had OCD. He, you know, just like any other mental illness, you know, like me and my anxiety, like, he managed it. He'd gone to see someone to get some help with it. And I was saying, oh, so what's that like? And then he said, yeah, I've learnt how to not be triggered by it and how I can handle every... Jesus! Excuse me. Aww. Don't make me hurt the dog. Like, I know he's clearly, like, a hellhound or some shit. But when you're making him whimper at me, aww. But yeah, and he even though he was not suffering from his OCD, as it were, he still had OCD, and so... I was saying, oh, so what's that like? And he just looked, and at the time I was doing like volunteer administration, like secretary stuff. And he just looked at the desk and he said, and he pointed out very quickly, that's not straight, that thing's not level, that's not aligned with that, that's not that. And as soon as he pointed all that stuff out, I was just nodding like, oh, okay, I see what you mean. And in my head I was thinking, yep, I am never again in my life going to say, oh man, I'm so OCD, because fucking, it's a goddamn nightmare for people who have to go through it. Wow. Okay, first of all, gross. You're leaving shit on the floor, but also, like, this is a bathroom, and that's for, like, medicine. Like, what if there's, like, Band-Aids and shit in there? This does not look like a clean bathroom. It looks like it hasn't been cleaned since 1963, and you're leaving fucking Band-Aids and bandages on here to soak up all of the piss stains on the floor? Gross. Gross. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I totally got distracted before. I was saying that, okay, what did I just say about leaving shit on the floor? Right? Who is going out, whipping out the Johnson, and they're going, oh, mate, hold on, I got to put this ammo over here, just a sec, mate. You know? Maybe they dropped their tracks, their trousers, and it fell out of their pocket, you know? Have you ever done that? The most annoying thing in the world, you know, you go to the bathroom and your phone just jumps out of your pocket onto the toilet floor. And that's the relatable part of my video all done. Now we're going back to talking about the lore. But yeah, I was saying with underground bunkers, I did a little bit of research because I was wondering about bunkers. I was like, aren't all bunkers underground? And in fact, I was looking up online and in Wikipedia, and it did say that the original bunkers, like the first... jammed! Not locked, but jammed. That's different. I also just realized I don't have a jump button. But who needs to jump? I'm underground. And like, it comes from in the World War... I want to say World War II. Oh, okay. So what's the point in having the other door that I couldn't leave if I can leave that way? Oh, ow. Right in the face. And yeah, in like British English, they used to call them... They called them dugouts. Because, you know, they literally had to dig them out. They were dug out into the ground. So, and even on the Wikipedia page, even though they said, almost always... underground, implying that they're not always underground. They then talked about having above ground bunkers, which to me is the more accurate, like if... What just happened? Oh, sorry. I scrolled upwards like that, and I must have accidentally lifted my finger and hit the run button, so for a second there I thought I was like swiping up to run. But yes, I think that underground bunkers are tautology, regardless of what Wikipedia says. You know, as I was saying before, it's not the best resource in the world for research. It's just the first port of call. Excuse me, and what are you walking around like some... He's like running around with his head down, swinging his arms. Wow, you're really skinny. Oh, speaking of him being really skinny, that reminds me. You know, in the last game, I was talking about how Slenderman is from the good old down under, mate. Slenderman's Australian. Is that just the door that was on the other side that was jammed? Oh, excuse me, sorry. And I, like I said, I was doing some research on it, and you know, I think I mentioned in like the second... Oh, is that a key? In the second game, that I really didn't understand the lore, like the whole Now I'm running randomly. I think they put that slightly lower. But yeah, I was trying to figure out the idea, like, is he meant to be a man versus nature, like in fairy tales? Like, is he meant to represent nature? I wasn't sure, but there was apparently a lady who did some research on it. I think it was either a book or a... Is that the same? Oh, I can't... I was going to jump and look in the window, then I realized I can't jump. Black man can't jump. But yeah, I was doing my researches, and there was a lady who was talking about how the Slender Man, whilst he is obviously original, or quote-unquote original, he is an internet darling, you know, he was created online. He is most similar to fairies, as in, like, the original, I think I just walked back to the beginning. This is a pretty small place. I could really just start here and then just keep going until I'm done, I think. Actually, hold on, I was going back because I found the key. I got distracted because I was talking about this lady. She said it was most like fairies, you know. And in Irish folklore, fairy doesn't just mean the cute little thing with the wings. Like a banshee is a kind of... sorry about that. I accidentally flipped off the script. But yeah, a banshee get right back into it. A banshee is also a fairy, and like the Irish, a leprechaun is a kind of fairy. Fairy was just a general term for that kind of a creature. So I can't remember which one. It wasn't the bathroom that had the other locked door. And fairies are well known for, you know, living in the woods, coming from like an otherworldly place, you know, whether it be like the land of the fairy, and they are very closely associated with stealing children. So Slenderman is very much like a fairy. And when I learned that he was Australian, my first thought was that he was a lot like another kind of, because there is another creature which is often referred to as a fairy in Aboriginal folklore. Yeah? Now, and it's called a mimi. A mimi is specifically a very tall, very thin creature, which is referred to as a fairy. Now, I'm not Aboriginal. You can't. I'm not doing a face reveal face cam thing, so you can't tell. I am quite white, so I'm not an Aboriginal person, and not even far back in my family, not at all. So I do not understand the mythology. I've never learnt the mythology, and again, this is just coming from shit I've learned on like Wikipedia. But even on the Wikipedia, and even from what I know from some, there was actually a thing I saw. I think it was a horror movie with a mimi, and in that one it was it almost looked like a talking stick. Am I just stupid? I think. Oh, I didn't even try the door at the beginning. But yeah, in the horror movie, it was like a trickster spirit that just looked like a talking stick. It's because they're very thin. They're meant to be so thin that like a wind could snap them in half. If this is the door, yeah, I was just stupid. And yeah, according to Wikipedia, they're meant to be like helpful. Like some of them were supposedly introduced those peoples to like fire and stuff like that. And also, I should point out that Aboriginal is like a catch-all term we use for basically every single one of the Aboriginal peoples. But I believe the mimi comes from Northern Territory clans. I guess I did need health. Whereas the fella I was talking about was in Western Australia. So if all of this sounds interesting to you and you're like, oh wow, that's a great way to deal with my mythology, make sure you do your research, right? Like honestly, it does kind of frustrate me because as a writer, like I agree, like I 100%, 110% agree with like sensitivity, readers, and getting shit done properly. You know, making sure you're not misrepresenting a culture and a people. But as much as mythology and religion is a part of culture, it's also a fucking fiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is, you know, and maybe it is because I'm not religious, like I said in the last thing. You know, I'm not religious, so I don't care about whose religion is, whether it's the white man's religion or what. I do not respect it in any way, shape, or form. I don't give a single flying fuck. It's all bullshit, right? But it doesn't change the fact that, like, it's a part of people's culture, and you know, and even though I don't believe in it, they believe it. Like, I actually got yeah. So as frustrating as it is that we have to deal with literal, you know, children's stories and myths, you know, and treat them with kindness, you can cause a lot of damage. Like I have a friend of mine I know who's Native American talking about how the fucking epidemic lately of Wendigos in fiction, and it boils her blood because Wendigos, right? The whole idea of a Wendigo oh, there it is. I knew it was down here somewhere. The whole idea of the Wendigo being like a cannibalistic spirit. Oh, for a second there I thought it fucking disappeared on me. That was actually used as anti-Indian propaganda. Like, it was used as proof that we shouldn't allow these, and I'm quoting here, these savages into our lives because, you know, they worship this idea of a creature that is a cannibal, you know? And I'm not even sure if that's all 100% true. I think there's like a whole bunch of weird... Oh, don't make me shoot the dog. Yeah. And like, that's just a story from my friend. Another one from my personal life I know of Like, there we go. Like, I write fiction, and, you know, I like to do my research, you know, just as I'm doing research for this thing. And I was trying to learn, I had this idea for a story, like a horror story, where someone uncovers, like, a genie's lamp, right? But the idea in my story was that instead of... So, you know, they grant you wishes, and I've always thought, that's really weird. Why, if a genie is that powerful, why the hell would they grant you wishes in the first place? And the reasoning I came up with, right, was what if genies grant you wishes because in order to grant a wish properly, you know, they kind of need like a psychic connection to you. Like, obviously, you know, people often have the whole thing of like the evil genie. You know, be careful what you wish for because you could get an evil genie who's gonna ruin your day on purpose. But I was thinking, okay, what if they gave the wish because, you know, be careful what you wish for. Horror stories are a dime a dozen, right? But what if the genie gave you exactly what you wanted, but the only way they could do that was by every single wish granting like a slight psychic connection with you? Because if you say, oh man, I'm sorry, doggo, I know you didn't mean it. You've been slender sickened by Slenderman. He's turned you into a little demon doggo. Yeah, but yeah, mate, what if... Yeah, so if you say, oh man, I really wish that Caitlin would fall in love with me. Well, who the fuck is Caitlin? What does love mean? Like, do you mean familial? Do you mean romantic love? So what if every time you gave a wish, you had to, you know, you're basically entering into a contract with this demon-like creature, and that is why they grant the wishes, because slowly and slowly they take over your mind and it grants them more power, right? But like I said, you know, you have to do your research, you have to be culturally sensitive. So I actually found a Muslim-like, because genies come from Arabic and Islamic mythology, right? But for a second there I was like, I didn't kill him, but no, I think they put his body there on purpose. Why is he bent backwards? Like, why is he sticking dick first right here? I don't know what you died of, friend, but it looked painful. You know, not every chapter of the Kama Sutra is meant for everyone, let's just say that. But yeah, so I actually got in contact with an online mosque, and all I said was I sent a message saying, hey, I'm just doing some research on mythology, and I was hoping you could talk to me about genies. And this guy immediately like closed the chat window, and I was like, oh, I thought there was just something wrong with it at first. So I opened up the chat window, and I said, I'm sorry, it seems to have disconnected on this. I was just asking you a question about genies. And the guy said, what is this guy meant to be? I can't see his... oh, he's just another zombie like the guys. Although, apparently it's better that they're wearing the straight jackets because it doesn't make them flail their arms around like an absolute douchebag. But yeah, so I reopened the chat and I said to this guy, I'm sorry, we seem to have got disconnected. I was just asking about genies. And the guy said, I will not talk to you because you are just here to abuse Islam. And I didn't know where the hell he was coming from. I said, I'm sorry, I don't know what I've said. I didn't mean anything wrong. You know, I mean no offense at all. I'm literally just trying to do the research. I'm trying to, with the best of intentions, trying to do all the research I can. Can you please tell me what on earth is going on? And then he explained to me, he said, genies are not myth. They are real. Right? All right, now, if anyone out there is like sitting there laughing, like, I get it. I also think that genies are myth. You know, I don't think they're real. But... like I said, it's a part of the mythology that's not mine. Of course, I don't believe in it. You know, I also don't believe in God and angels. But if you say that to some people, they'll be offended. And that's literally what I had done to this guy. By even suggesting that what I was doing research on was called mythology and therefore was not true, he was deeply offended. And imagine if I did that to you. Like, imagine if I went up to... It's like going up to a Christian and saying to them, hey, I'm doing some fucking research on fairy tales and bullshit people tell kids. So tell me about this God fella. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally the same thing. As far as he was concerned, anyway. So, you got to be sensitive when it comes to people's mythologies, even if it's bullshit, which it is. But you know, you don't need to. We can. I'm saying the quiet part out loud there. Is that why can I not just pick that up? Like that's. Do I need to be this close? Do I? Apparently. Yeah. But yeah, so So, as much as I think it's interesting to think of them being as like Mimi fairies. And that's the thing also, fairy is like, don't go walking up to an Aboriginal and saying, hey, I've learned a little bit about your fairies. Fucking what? Like, that's an Irish term, you know, that's not what they call them. It's Mimi. I might even be saying the name wrong for all I know. To me, it's spelled like Mimi. But anyway, I think I've been talking about mythologies that I don't even believe in for way too long. So, there's one thing though I did want to cover, and it might even take a while. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to talk about the lore. All that effort and it was fucking nothing. Fuck, grease your drawers in the future so they don't get stuck with their rust. Yeah. So I've been doing a little bit looking at the lore, right? A little. Well, I say look, I think really, because I've just been considering the lore implications. Because okay, so the first game down pat, right? I must have come from there. The door's open. Right? That makes sense, doesn't it? Which way did I come from? Yeah, I came from here. Yeah, that was like the first thing I went into with the... Yeah, this thing. Yeah. And that's done. What's down here? But yeah, so the very first game, pretty obvious, you know, you've got... Oh, there's nothing fucking here. Okay, we're gonna have to start doing a bit of a hunt. First game, obvious. Asylum, crazy people. Like, whether or not that they were crazy before they went to the asylum, doesn't matter. We know for a fact that Slenderman must have come in there, and everybody got a little bit more slender sick. And like I said, there is precedence of people becoming zombified and emaciated. Like, that's what happens in Slenderman: The 8 Pages, and no, Slenderman: The Arrival. Sorry. Like, so that's canon, right? Yeah, we're talking about the canon. I'm just going to accept that as canon. Oh, is it going to be one of these drawers? Ugh. Just sat here for 12 years. Yeah. So, the zombie there makes sense. Just as the zombie guys here makes sense. That's fine. At the end of the very end, there's the old man, right? There's reference to the old man. Or old mad. But, you know, we're going to ignore the bad spelling for now. Second game, set the future, doesn't matter too much. Although, I was actually sort of wondering a little bit about that. Like, oh, we know this. I'll eat the burger. Fuck it. Yeah. What is this, you know, fast food propaganda trying to teach people that burgers will make you healthy? But, you know, one thing I was sort of wondering about was, like, the little bugs, which I absolutely despise. Like, could it be that this is meant to be one of those, like, you know, just like in I think a couple of horror movies that go into space, the whole idea is that they take the horrifying thing and they're trying to get rid of it. And so... Oh, wait, I'm already up at full health. So they're taking it off into space. And so maybe, the little dudes that are hanging around him, the little bugs that, like I said, I despise, maybe the whole idea is that they are meant to be watching over the stasis pod or whatever it is that the Slenderman guy is in, and so the reason why they're following him around is because oh that's cool. Sorry, I mean, it's just a little bit of quality of life feature. I literally can't eat it when my health is 100%. That's kind of cool. But yeah, so even though I hate those little dudes, I don't know why they would then be attacking me. Maybe that is... No, I have no idea. Yeah, so let's just... Oh, there it is. Didn't I see this before and not pick it up? That's what it feels like happened. I feel like that's what I did. That was stupid. Oh, so that just means there's going to be one hiding around here that I just have missed, isn't it? I can't remember Slenderman popping up somewhere I didn't know. I don't know. But, okay, so that's the second game, whatever. I don't know why they're attacking you, doesn't matter. But what does matter is that the third game, which I kept calling Dark Forest. Let's just... Now, if I close it, then I'll think I've not gone there yet if I come back here. It was called Silent Forest, and I said it was... that dark might have been someone's name because the forest wasn't that dark. You know what? It wasn't that silent either. It made this noise all the time. You know, it was... like a gravel floor on concrete. Yeah, definitely. Oh, no, that sounds fun. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. The point is, it didn't seem that silent. There was a fair amount of birds in there when I played the day mode. So, And, more importantly, Silent can be a surname, you know. Like, I don't know whether the Silent... like, I looked it up online on, like, the behind the name thing. It didn't really show up. But there are a couple of people who are called Silent according to some internet searches. And more importantly, there is an Italian name, Cilento, spelled C-I-L-E-N-T-O, which apparently comes from... in Italy, what it means is cis alento, because like cis, like if you know transgender, cisgender, you know, if you know, cis actually means on the same side of, you know, hence cisgender. I mean, you're on the same side as the heteronormative gender. Then cisgender is on the same side of the Alento, which is a river in a certain town in Italy. So it makes sense to me that like a lot of people like I just remembered in the previous thing I was talking about Tim Allen, and I said Woody Allen. But Woody Allen is a great example of what I'm talking about. He was a Jewish man, and he changed his name to anglicize it, so that people would basically just would be less likely to be a bigoted piece of shit towards him for being Jewish. So he changed his name, and it makes sense to me that someone called Cilento would anglicize their name as Silent. That makes sense to me. And, you know, there's all the stuff about, you know, there was a house in there, maybe something happened in that house. Oh, don't tell me it's going to be in one of the fucking cells. Here. I think the easiest way to do this... Which way do they swing? I think they swing that way. So yeah, let's do it this way. So... Oh, then the second game was called Silent City, right? Now, just as Silent can be a name that would refer to a forest, why the hell would you be able to use that same name for the... I feel like they're a bit more... Oh, whatever, we're going to check them anyway. You know, in certain towns, like I used to live in Brisbane in Queensland. It's called Brisbane because it's named after a guy called Thomas Brisbane. You know? And in fact, I happen to know that Burbank in California is named after David Burbank, who he apparently just bought the... Like, I only know that because of the Patton Oswalt stand-up bit. Yeah, I thought that it would come from some tragedy, but it just turns out there was a dentist named Dave Burbank who had enough money and said, I want to found a town, and indeed he did. That's the whole story. That's why the town's called Burbank. So hey, maybe Silent City is called Silent City because there's a guy called Mr. Silent, with Italian heritage apparently, who why am I even... Yeah, I'm supposed to be going through these and closing them as I look at them. Who did something in that town. And it happens a lot in towns when if there's one guy who did a bunch of stuff for your town, he's really famous, they'll name a bunch of stuff after him. So, and, you know, because it's a horror game and, you know, and eat the rich, it makes sense to me that there were just a rich bunch of people. I mean, for goodness sake, it seems like some of their kids were sent to prison for perversions beyond the human mind. So, maybe it was just a rich family who have been getting into some nasty stuff. Oh, and also, right. The last game was so quick. You know, I was more interested in Christmas lore than I was about the game itself. But upon rewatching it, you know, for editing, so I could get it ready for the for posting it on YouTube, I noticed something. You know, first of all, I wasn't even... Is that a hat? Oh, thank goodness! It looked like a hat. Oh dear! Like from this angle, like with just a little bit of red, you look at it like that. To me, it looked like one of those army hats with like a little black brim and like a little badge on top. Am I crazy? I'm crazy. But yeah, to me, it was just like, hey, at least there wasn't invisible walls. You know, there's the end of the city. But that town was fucking barricaded, right? It was barricaded. Like, they were big wooden, or maybe quarantined? I don't know which makes the most sense. Barricaded, quarantined, like locked off those streets. That part of town was locked off. And why? Why was it locked off? Well, we don't know for sure. That's the whole point of this discussion. But my suggestion, right? Because there was a second thing I noticed in the playback, which I didn't notice when I was playing. You know, the very first... no, sorry. It was actually the very second. The very second of the 8 pages that I found Okay, we're going to close the doors. Okay, we're going to go back to the start and close the doors when we have established that there's nothing left. Okay? We'll go back to the start. But yeah, the very second page I got was on a coffin lid next to the second level story of some building which had fucking exploded, right? Like I said, you know, there's history of zombie-like or emaciated persons coming from Slenderman. And what if, I'll check it again anyway. What if the reason why Slenderman is attacking the town is because something in those coffins, and there was like 3 different spots. Like, remember there was one I couldn't get into, and one with absolutely nothing in it but, like, ammo, I think. I think I would have been attacked more if there was more. It's down here or whatever. And, yeah, there was only one coffin, but... who's to say that, every single Slenderman comes from the same avatar? Or, hell, even if those came from... Like, I'm thinking that maybe the coffin itself wasn't like Slenderman. Maybe it was something else that like brought him out. Who knows? I was just double checking it was a black thing. It could have been like the tablet screen. Yeah, I don't know what it was. But, you know, you've sort of got something there, right? Like, obviously whatever happened to the town, which I do think exploded out of the coffin, I do think that resulted in you know, panic, hysteria. After all, the city was empty. I mean, obviously it was empty. They didn't want to have to program all that in. But still, I'm counting it. I'm counting it as law, you know, that the town was evacuated. Did I just not? I just didn't close this one. Oh, that's right. I came up with my plan to close the doors after I left that door open. Okie dokie. Is there anything else in here to look at? For a second, I was literally about to go and open that door because I thought it was a cupboard. But no, there's nothing else. Okay, we're done. Yeah. But yeah, so we got something of a story going on there, like something coming into the city. And this, okay. That is like the second or third time that I've closed these games when swiping. I don't know why it's almost like this new mic setup is putting my thumb too close to the right. I don't know. But anyway, what I was saying was this game, Underground Bunker, right? So I was doing research because I was trying to make sure. See, I'm going to cover this game, and I was going to cover like Slenderman Must Run game, as well as Slenderman History, and I think there's another one, Slenderman Must Die Survivors. I'm planning on covering that one next, right? Because I decided to do research into seeing where they all fit in the timeline, right? Sorry, I can't say that. In the release date, that's what I'm looking at. Release date. So, because I didn't know when Survivors appeared. I'm like, is that at the end? Does that come before History? Whatever. So I decided to just go by the dates when they were released. But for some reason, this game, the one you're looking at right fucking now, this game was released in 2023, whereas all the rest of them were released in like 2016, 2017. And even the game after this one is released like a year after the game that came before this one in like 2016, 2017. Oh, I got really excited there for a second. But this one was released in 2023, and I wasn't 100% sure why. So I decided to send an email to the creator, and I also asked him a couple of other questions. If I actually hear back from him, and we get some interesting information, I'll let you know. Could be interesting. Or maybe he doesn't check his emails. Who gives a shit? He probably thinks that every email that he receives is going to be people complaining about, like, oh, ah! No! That means it's got to be here somewhere, right? Is it behind a fucking door? Oh my god. But yeah, so, I was looking at the release dates of all the... Okay, we can wait for a second. I was looking at the release dates for all of the games. And I noticed that whilst he's got a bunch of games that I don't really give a shit about. Like there's a Jeff the Killer game, there's a Siren Head game, there's something that's called like Mama Bird, but it's clearly just Momo, you know, that freaky looking chicken thing, which is just a bit of art that people... Apparently some kids thought it was real. Kids are stupid though. Kids think that Santa Claus and other that whole clown. Remember the whole thing about like clowns in the woods like running out chasing people? That wasn't real, but some kids believed it. Kids are stupid. But the point is, there are 2 games in the repertoire of Poison Games, which look like they're an original story type thing, and they're called Silent Insanity, right? You picking up? Are you smelling what I'm stepping in? Because Silent Forest, Silent City, named after. Oh, and most importantly, here I'll show you. I'll show you there's a picture from one of the screenshots on the Play Store, right? Does he look familiar to you? Because to me, he looks a lot like the old sorry, I couldn't help myself. The old man at the end of Sanatorium, right? Are you seeing it? Is it connecting your head the way it's connecting your mind? Because I'm thinking maybe that's not called Silent Insanity because it's about going insane quietly. After all, it does look like there's like guns and stuff in that game, and that's not very silent now, is it? No, maybe it's called Silent Insanity because it's about a guy called Silent who goes insane, and it's like the prequel-y story thing for the guy responsible for some of the happenings in Silent Forest and Silent City, and most importantly, the Sanatorium who appears at the very end. I mean, after all, if he does go insane, makes sense that he'd go to an asylum or a sanatorium. You see, it all fits. The lore fits. See, this is what I was talking about at the very beginning. This is what I was so excited about. The whole idea of finding these stupid little games, these simple little asset flip type games, and finding the hidden lore. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. Anyway, so for that reason, I'm going to also, at some point, include the Silent Insanity games in my playthroughs. But the next one in the list, even though this one is Slenderman Must Die, the next one I'm throwing in is Slenderman Must Die Survivors, which looks like, I think the reason why it doesn't have the same chapter thing title is because it looks like it has slightly different gameplay. We'll find out. But until then, feel free to think about the lore implications, everything I've discussed today. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Now let's see the hopefully non-anticlimactic congratulations screen. Go for the exit, okay. I'm not gonna die. Jeez. Oh, it's like right there. Hold on. For a second there, I thought maybe he just wouldn't die. See, that'd be an interesting ending to one of these games. If once you've collected all the things, you're thinking, oh, I'm weakening him down. He's deep. No, like, hell no, motherfucker. You just gave him all the power he needs. Good job. Good. See you next time in Slenderman Must Die Industrial Waste. Well, no, you won't. I mean, we will cover that one, because that sounds interesting. But no, the next one we'll be covering is Slenderman Must Die Survivor. So, until then, I hope you had fun doing this. I certainly had fun playing it. I hope you had fun learning a little bit about the lore implications behind it all. I was so busy thinking about the past games, I didn't think about the lore about this one. But it's again, it's the same as Asylum. It's just sort of like an enclosed space. Although, military implications. I'm going to have a red hot think about that. Maybe you can discuss what you think that means in the comments below. But until next game, until Slenderman Survivors, have had fun, and I'll see you in the next Slenderman Must Die game. Thank you very much. Oh, and most importantly for the lore implications, what the hell is that shit coming out of his face? It looked like he tried to eat a porcupine or something.